have a very small, they operate in a very small sector in the United States, but also that's a strength of the U.S. system that can be transferred and create jobs working in other countries that doesn't exist today.
Ken, one more point, actually just tilting a bit the other way for a moment. I think several of us have made this argument that often when manufacturing moves overseas, there's still, if it's part of the right process, that can be a net plus. That doesn't mean that manufacturing moving overseas is always a good thing. And in particular, when manufacturing moves overseas as part of unfair industrial policy by other countries, or because of neglectful policy on the U.S. side, that is not a good thing. And one of our challenges, I think, is to have policy that differentiates between situations where competitive advantage stems from genuine comparative advantage, which we should be happy about, and situations where it doesn't. And we should be looking seriously at steps we can take to try to correct that. And you see again that in the developing world, particularly in China, but also in clean energy spaces in some other countries. So India, for example, as part of, I keep coming back to solar for some odd reason, but as part of its effort to really grow solar, its national solar mission trying to do 20 gigawatts by 2022, has put on some non-trivial local content requirements. Now, on the one hand, more market access is good. That's not an appropriate sort of competitive policy, so we might think about pushing back. On the other hand, it may be a political prerequisite for creating that market in the first place. So there's a tough line to walk, but there are these situations in a variety of countries where there's an inappropriate tilting of the playing field rather than an appropriate natural evolution.
Jonathan.
Thanks. I'm Jonathan Schreier from the U.S. Department of State, the policy planning staff. This is really a follow-up to the question that Sarah opened up with, which is in structuring international cooperative technology partnerships, joint efforts to develop new technologies and get them into the marketplace, are we better off closely linking those to our interests in the major climate change negotiations, the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change negotiations, or are we better off totally disassociating them, one from the other? And what I mean is, for example, if a country is key to the outcome in the Framework Convention negotiations on climate change, should we emphasize partnerships with them to try and win them over to